All right, so today I wanted to talk about a crazy story I seen at a CBC titled Manslaughter Charges Dropped Against Man Who Killed Two Home Invaders Who Held Him at Gunpoint. Um, it's a very long article, so I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to make it too long here. But basically, the gist of the story was three guys kicked down the guy's door, basically tied up him and his girlfriend. The guy's son caught wind of it because of security cameras, came to the house. A struggle ensued, and um, the older guy, the dad of the son, managed to wrestle the gun away from the guy who had the gun of the home invaders, and actually shot two of the guys. Now, um, this is a very important story, I believe, because people, when it comes to when it comes to this kind of stuff, again, I don't know what the best way of putting it is, but people really don't understand this stuff. And this is something I think we need to be talking about as a society, right? We really need to be talking about this as a society because um, I think it's very important. And this is something that I don't know why is it controversial? Like, if people break into your house, hold you at gunpoint, tie you up, if that's not enough to get you shot, then seriously, what is? Now, the other important thing here too is that this guy, it's not like this guy had a handgun, sleeping under his pillow or something along those lines. No, he wrestled the gun away from the people who broke into the house. It was the people who broke into the house that had the gun. So this isn't necessarily even that big of a gun debate, but I think it's something that needs to be talked about as well. Um, but this is something too, like, do the majority of people support this? I don't know. To be quite honest, it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't surprise me, but that's mainly because the average person these days is so just so ignorant and dumbed down and just lack of empathy and sympathy. It's not even funny. And again, that's the average person, obviously not everyone. Um, in that they can see a story like this and be like, oh yeah, nothing needs to change in our laws. But the reality is that when it comes to self-defense law in Canada, from what I've seen, and I've done decent amount of research on this, obviously no lawyer though, is that it's very murky, and the water is very muddy into what constitutes self-defense and what doesn't. And this stuff could be easily fixed in that um, if your life is if you're in a situation and whatever happens, if it can be construed to where a reasonable person would believe that your life is reasonably in danger, then any use of force should be okay. And if a situation like this isn't doesn't qualify that, I don't know what does. Like, seriously, like, what if this doesn't qualify, then what does? Right? And it's like I say, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know exactly what the law is. But the other problem too is that what the law says and what is practiced in reality oftentimes isn't the same thing. That's another thing that's really important. That's something also when it comes to the whole gun control thing, is that people say, oh, we need more gun control. Well, again, anyone with half a brain when it comes to gun control would know that the problem with gun control isn't we don't have enough. It's number one, we have too much, and number two, we don't enforce the gun control we have enough, right? You have, again, I hear stories all the time about people getting caught with illegal guns while they're on probation, robbing places at gunpoint, and yet they're in jail for a month or two, and then they're right back out. When in reality, I mean, if you get caught with an illegal gun, I think you can get up to 2 years for that, and that's just the one charge, right? That's not, obviously, a lot of these people are on probation, a lot of these people are barred from owning the gun in the first place. Like these people that are doing stuff like, and again, I'm not talking about like there should be a discretion here too, that um, someone who shoots their handgun on, in a rural area, yeah, that's illegal, but that shouldn't be the same charge as if some gangbanger gets caught with a handgun in downtown Toronto or Edmonton or wherever, right? Because again, you'd think that would be common sense too, because again, shooting your handgun in the back 40 poses no threat to anyone else, but carrying around especially a lot of times when it's an illegal handgun, well, yeah, that does pose a threat to society, right? And again, I believe that we should have legal gun owners should be allowed to concealed carry, but again, that's a different story in and of itself. We're talking about the existing laws. So um, the problem with gun control is that we're not going after the people that are actually doing the illegal things in the first place, and the people they know that. Now, people would probably ask, well, why is that the case? Well, that's the case because the people who want gun control, the goal isn't saving lives or any of that garbage. That they're just virtue signaling when they bring that up. The reality is that they want to ban guns. They have this vendetta against guns and they want them banned. And the other big problem too is that um, if we actually crack down on these people, it would be disproportionately black people that would be in jail because of this, which would bring up the whole, oh, the laws are racist. We can't do that. Right? So that's another big reason too that people need to understand as well, I think. But um, yeah, I mean, I don't know why there's a debate on this. Like, why can we not agree as a society? Like, you'd think this would just be basic common sense. If your life is legitimately in danger, you can use whatever force is necessary to defend yourself. Why is that controversial? The only reason that I can construe that as being controversial is because people who want to people who want to side with criminals don't like that. Exactly. There's no legitimate reason that I can think of that um, to where anyone would disagree with that. Now, obviously, there is still some nuance to that, but that is how laws are almost always applied. That's how the court system works. There is endless amounts of laws that are on the books that are basically, whether it's illegal or not, or whether you'll get convicted in court or not, is would a reasonable person have acted that way? That is um, that's how a lot of things are enforced, right? But and the other thing too should be is that um, unless they can prove um, beyond a shadow, like unless they have clear evidence that points to your life was not in danger, you should be charged. Because this is another big problem too, that the law may say that, but people may get dragged through the mud. You may have to spend a bunch of time in jail anyway. Your reputation may be destroyed and you may be completely innocent. So that's another big problem as well. Right? So the reality of these laws in Canada and in general is we should be going after the people that are actually breaking the law. I don't know, like I say, I don't know why that's so controversial. That's a very controversial thing these days. Now, like I say, I think the reality is that in Canada, it's disproportionately blacks and natives that are committing these crimes, and if we crack down, it's going to appear like it's racist, right? I think that's the thing that's holding people back. I can't think of anything else in my mind that would be holding people back. But anyway, like I say, I would really like to I'd really like to hear a good reason to why anyone can disagree with that, right? Like if your life is legitimately in danger, what argument is there that you shouldn't be able to use whatever force is necessary to save your life? Yeah, I really can't think of a good argument for it. I'd really like to hear one as well. But um, anyway, that's what I wanted to bring up today. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure you check out those links below. Follow me on those other platforms if you haven't already. If you want to donate, you could do that as well. Again, I would very much appreciate whatever support I can get, but at the very least, just hit that like and subscribe and stay tuned for more.